brother, you're about to receive your 27-page document called The Masculine on Fire. It will arrive in your inbox in less than 12 minutes. Right now, I have a special training video for you. It shows men how to activate their masculinity, embody a new sense of purpose, and achieve higher levels of productivity. It's a framework hundreds of men, including myself, have been using for the past 17 years. In addition to that, I'm going to bring you into my home and my office, where you'll get to witness entrepreneurs, businessmen, men with the same and similar aspirations and challenges as you, receive live coaching from me so you can witness firsthand transformation happening. So let me ask you a question. Are you aware that there is a secret attack on masculinity going on right now? What if I told you that for years we've been subscribing to this cultural rhetoric that men have to give up their power, their identity, and even their effectiveness as a man? Right now, in our world, there is this undertone that men aren't doing their job, that we aren't showing up. In fact, we're less relevant now than we ever have been. And in this video, I'm going to show you a different way. I'm going to challenge this anti-masculinity movement, because I can tell you that we have subscribed to this unconsciously in some way, shape, or form, that all men are just here to protect, provide, and procreate. That's it. That's the limitation of man. And it's a bold-faced lie. It's total bullshit. And you believing that on any level, usually unconsciously, is the leading cause of all of our fears, insecurities, and disappointments as men. And if you put all of that together, it's no wonder masculinity feels dead, that we've become less relevant, and women are taking over and gender roles have switched. But I can tell you this, there's something inside of you right now that is screaming to live your truth, to do what you were born to do, and be the man you came here to be. Welcome, I'm Coach Carl. For the past 17 years, I've been working with men, and in this training video, I'm going to reveal some very powerful things pretty soon right here on the whiteboard. But first, I'm going to reveal a pretty deep secret about myself, because as you and I get to know each other, you're going to realize that I'm not much different from you, maybe about this much, and that is I've solved problems, completed things a little bit better, and activated my masculinity on an elevated level. But we probably came from the same place and have the same fears and challenges. Can I count the ways that I have fucked up in my life? The people that I've hurt? The regrets and disappointments that I've encountered that have literally flattened me? People that have loved me and seen me hurt, and people that have loved me that I've pushed away and shut out, because that's what masculinity does. We run away and hide when people get too close. The women that I've abandoned, including my own daughter. And all the while this was happening, I didn't realize how cruel I was being to myself. It was then it hit me that masculinity, we actually cannot see ourselves. We can see everything out there, the woman to chase and how great it would be to have sex with her, the money, the status, the retirement, all of that wonderful stuff. We can see that, but we actually can't see what's right in front of us. We can't see ourselves. See, like you, I shared many of the same frustrations. I've lacked clarity. I've doubted myself and held back from going after what I really wanted, and even been confused about what I really wanted. For me, it was even more difficult. I grew up the extremely shy, introverted guy. No one really expected anything out of me. And even despite that, I still amassed a fortress by the age of 28. Private plane, great house, writing as much as $998,000 in revenue per month. Amazing wife, 2 kids. I had it all, except one thing. I was fucking miserable on the inside. The more successful, the more money I made, the worse I got. It saddened my spirit. I became bitter and angry. And all of a sudden, the things that became natural to me, like making money, being a good lover, being a good dad, those things were always natural and easy, are now a burden. They are a struggle that I can't keep up with. And I couldn't figure out why. Why was this happening? I was riding the highest high And yet on the inside, I'm crumbling and fading away. Brother, I'm telling you this because I had walls up that could rival with the Great Wall of China. And if you don't let down your walls, melt away your armor, you're going to keep chasing the white rabbit like every guy out there, bobbing and weaving in the status quo, believing that one day you'll make it, only to find out that if you do, it's not all cracked up what you think it's to be. See, like you, I learned the hard way. I fell prey to failure and disappointment. And masculinity everywhere is feeling a little disappointed and defeated right now. And the truth is, if you're really honest with me right now, there's probably some shame inside of you as well. And that shame is all about beating ourselves up. And the moment we start beating ourselves up consistently, we start to shut ourselves down. And that part of you that is shut down right now is desperately seeking solutions to reactivate your raw masculinity. You see, the reality is you're not on top of your game anymore. And that's a hard pill to swallow. I know I have swallowed it many times. But the truth is, nobody told us what true masculinity really was. Nobody told us inside of us there's this switch. A switch from the old masculine to the new masculine. The old masculine is all about burden and pressure and proving itself. Operating from this place of I'm not enough and one day I'll become enough. The new masculine walks in the room and he is the most powerful person in that room. He's relevant. Everybody can feel him. He's on purpose. The true masculine doesn't chase the white rabbit. We get chased. That's the difference. We own the space that we're in and results happen effortlessly. And the real masculinity that you're looking for right now is a path that's more effortless, more alive, and can sustain that aliveness. And this switch we're going to talk about isn't some ploy or tactic or pickup line. That's not who I am. It's a switch from the old masculine to the new masculine that just needs to be activated, and it's not something we can do on our own. Do you have any idea what this will do for you? The level of respect you will have. Your value will go up. You'll start to attract people and women and opportunities and cash flow and business deals that want to see you successful, that want to serve you, and that will work to produce results. Brother, if you want an effortless path to dominate your destiny, the only way to do that is to activate your raw, natural masculinity. I can show you how to do that. In this video, I will show you how to do that. You see, once you clear your mind, your shit won't own you anymore. Once you're on purpose, you will be fearless. And once you come back into your body, your purpose will start to manifest effortlessly. There's a better way, gentlemen. Let's get started. A minute ago, I said something happened to you. We're going to walk through the path of masculinity from deactivation all the way to activating the fullest embodiment of your purpose and reigniting a new sense of masculine. But all men start here. Somewhere along the way, you started with this idea of what man should be. And the world already told us that men are only here to protect, provide, and procreate. But you knew it was time to prove yourself to become something greater. And you started embarking on this journey. We call it the climb. And it's about you succeeding. And somewhere, at some point, you started succeeding at something. And I know some of you guys just feel like you haven't gotten there yet to really feel successful or like you're in the zone. But somewhere along the way, we started proving this idea to be true because somewhere you got this idea that may not be authentic to you. It may not be who you really are, what you're really here to do. So I want you to start to be in question of it, and you'll see throughout the rest of this diagram what's occurring for you and what to do about it. But somewhere in our success, men are notorious for ignoring red flags. We trade success, who we are, for success. We trade up for glory, and we start to ignore these red flags. And you'll know what I mean when I say, how many times have you said, oh, she's the one, and then a few weeks later it falls apart? Or this idea, that's the one, I'm going to make so much money, and then it never manifests. And then you start trading more ideas instead of being who you are and following the path. That's what I'm talking about. We ignore these insights and these red flags that come back later to bite us. But what we're really after is building this empire, right? We've got money, family, travel, maybe the house, spirituality. This is our empire that we're building. But somewhere along the way, something happened. Something went bam, and you just got hit. Something robbed you of your masculinity, and all of a sudden, you're feeling defeated, maybe shut down. You've got some regret or disappointment. It didn't work out the way you thought it would be. Success isn't always cracked up to what you think it's to be. Remember earlier I said that with you. Something robbed you of your masculinity, and now you're fighting like hell to figure all that out. But it doesn't make sense up here. But what happens to men once they get robbed and something just cuts us? It's like a breaker switch goes off and we feel deflated. When this happened to me, I was watching 12 hours of Law and Order TV. Like, who watches 12 hours of Law and Order? And then Rocky 1 through 5 to try and get my testosterone and my masculinity back up. But nothing seemed to help. And this is the area where men start turning to porn, alcohol, sex, having affairs. We start learning pickup lines or reading books on how to gain something instead of how to activate and become who you're really here to become. And right now there's a lot of shame going on in this area around it. And once that sets in, here's what happens. I want you to watch me. We start on this roller coaster of emotions, trying to figure ourselves out. And if you notice, a lot of alpha guys have gone soft and feminine, and a lot of guys who putting up more armor to become more masculine to overcompensate for the fact that they're hurt. But you got hurt. Something hurt you. Someone hurt you somewhere along the way. And this vision, this idea of man is shattered. You don't even know if you want to keep it anymore. See, your identity equals results. And that's the biggest challenge with men. We think what we do is who we are. And if we're not doing it, we're not men. And the world tells us we're not being men. Women everywhere are constantly reminding us in the media that we're not being men and showing up. And women are more independent, more financially successful. They're protecting and providing and having kids on their own without men. That's what's occurring. So let's keep going. When this happens, and you're riding this roller coaster, the only way men know how to deal with this is they go numb and start shutting down. And then we flatline. It's kind of like a heart monitor. When we flatline, I'm just going to spell it here for you. When we flatline, we're pretty much as good as dead. And that's really where we feel unworthy. But here's what really happens. When you become deactivated, right? This is all deactivation. That's all it is. It's got nothing to do with self-worth. It's got nothing to do with your strategy or your tactic or not being a good enough man. This idea wasn't even real to begin with, and now it's shattered. Thank God. Now you can be who you really are. You can put all that shit behind you because it wasn't you. That was your distraction, the mental mind masturbating, thinking it's going to get something instead of be somebody. This is the most powerful place to be because when you're deactivated, you've become half man. There's half of you left. There isn't enough power. There isn't enough energy to create and build what you want because men are here to create and build. That's when we're the happiest. That's when we feel we're the most powerful. That's when we can create the legacy we want. But something profound happens right here. If you're willing to stay in the fire and see this through, transformation will be yours. You will get everything you came here to get if you get this. When you reach this place and you're deactivated. You're half man, which is a limited man trying to have it all, trying to get all the boxes of his empire that I just spoke to you about together. But what happens is they slowly start to dwindle away. They fade away. And now is where we start to question, finally, our true identity. Why are you really here? Who are you really outside of that idea that you made up of who you thought you should be, who the world told us to be, which isn't necessarily what you're really here to do. And we start to really look at my why. Why do you do what you do? You want control in your life? You want to be an amazing lover, father, husband, caretaker, multimillionaire, wealthy guy, travel guy, whoever that is for you, you got to know why you're here. You figure that out, and you are golden. Everything will start to happen effortlessly. Decisions are easy for me. You know why? Anytime I'm faced with a decision, it's very simple. It either empowers my purpose as a man on this planet, or it doesn't. So I say yes or no. And sometimes I may not be able to tell. I'll sit with it and come back with it later. So I'm making decisions all day long that keeps furthering me towards my purpose and keeps making me progress every single day. I rarely go backwards. That's the power of it. Look, the longest distance a man will ever travel on this planet is actually the shortest trip from his head to his heart. And most men don't even know what that means yet. But that's where the purpose lives. That's where it exists. But once you get here, men break up into 3 parts. This is powerful. Men end up becoming a she-man. And there's actually 2 forms of she-man. He's the guy that's now sitting at home while his wife is protecting, providing, and kicking butt in business because he's hurt and wounded. And then we've got the alternative she-man, which is a woman who just said, you know what, I no longer trust men. I've been disappointed and live in regret by trusting a man to take care of me, and he didn't show up. He left me and the kids. And now she's taking care of it, and men are less relevant. And we got the second kind of man, which is called, you're kind of feeling like no man. And no man's very powerful, believe it or not. See, he knows he's gifted. He knows he has potential. He understands that. He's just not getting the results. Because there's a part of him that up here knows it will happen, knows he can do it, but it's just not clicking. He really hasn't made the decision to turn it on, because when you're a half man, you can't make a decision. You are indecisive because all decisions are masculine dependent. Half man's deactivated. He can't actually choose and decide his destiny. Here's the third man. We got 1, 2, and 3, and this guy is just flat out stuck. And he doesn't want to admit it until it's too late. This is the guy that waits months to go to the doctor, even though he knows he's sick, because he doesn't want to deal with reality. He's stuck, and now he goes up into his head and tries to figure things out and move all the chess pieces so his life looks good, looks like he has it together, but on the inside, he is just flat out stuck, and he's too proud or too ashamed to admit it and reach out for help. It takes power to reach out for help. Shame never reaches out for help. Power always asks for what it wants. That's how this guy gets out of it. In fact, that's how all 3 guys get out of it. But here's what I'm getting at. Here's where the transformation happens from deactivation to embodying the new masculine. And we call this the confrontation zone. And I'm gonna go to red here because I really want to land this point. This is a zone of confrontation. It's the most powerful thing man will ever experience, but very few are willing to. Because we don't like confrontation, because when masculine, the old masculine that likes to hide, feels confronted, it actually shuts him down. We feel emasculated. Look, man, women are not here to emasculate you. They don't want to control you. She wants to let go with you. She wants to surrender to you. But she can't do that if you're unable to handle some level of confrontation. You getting called out on your stuff. You admitting it. Let me tell you, man, I've got flaws. I've already shared those with you. I own those. And once you own those, they no longer have power over you. But in the zone of confrontation is where you really get to meet your purpose and your identity. And you get an opportunity to own it. And in this zone right here, if you have a little bit of courage to step into it, you're going to be faced with two choices. The first one is you can continue the lies. And here's what I mean by that. How many times has someone you cared about said, "How you doing?" "I'm fine." "How you doing?" "I'm good." "How's things going?" "It's okay." And you know damn well it's a lie. You're not fine. You're not good. You're not okay. And that's not what you're here to be anyway. But we lie to ourselves by thinking, I'll figure it out. Something good will come along. Wanting, wishing, hoping, praying that one day it's suddenly going to happen, as if you're not the creator of it. If you stop those lies, success accelerates at warp speeds. Or you can just accept the reality that you're a powerful person. You could accept the reality that you have everything you need right now to have everything that you want. You can accept the reality that your purpose has been screaming at you to accept it, that your identity has been right there all along, and if you choose to take it on, you will get everything that you came here for, but you can't hold back. So really, all I'm asking you to do is stop holding back. That's it. Just stop holding back. And if you're willing to embark in the confrontation zone with me, you will end up man on top. And that's what I mean by this. We've got to be on top of our game again. Masculinity has to make a comeback and lead. We're here to lead our children. We're here to lead the feminine. We're here to lead our wealth, to guide people to greatness, to be the ultimate protectors, not just physically, but over the souls and well-being of other people. It's time to get back on top of our game and be who we're meant to be and do what we were born to do. It's just that simple. It's really not complicated. It's an inside-out job. You know this on an intellectual level, but until you experience it viscerally, masculinity is just a mental masturbatory game. And you're going to keep chasing another tactic and another program and another funnel and another book, thinking that's the answer. I'm simply saying you're the answer. All right, welcome back, gentlemen. Now, you've been watching this entire video. Okay, Mr. Know-It-All, Coach Carl, what the fuck do I do now? That should be what you're thinking. You should be challenging me a little bit. Look, until you accept the fact that you're a gift, that who you are matters and is relevant, there is no roadmap for you, man. I got a roadmap for anything. You want to be a better lover? There's a roadmap for that. I'll teach it to you. You want to make more money? There's a roadmap for that. I'll teach it to you. But right now, what matters most is you accept the reality that you have a purpose, you have a much more authentic and powerful identity than anything you've ever experienced, and it's waiting for you right here. And if you can do that, everything else is a simple how-to, and that can be done. So I'm going to share with you 4 things right now and give you an opportunity in a few moments. But right now, what I know to be true about masculinity is we have to have a very clear direction. I call it the directional man. You've got to know exactly where you are, and it amazes me how many times guys really, they think they know where they are financially and emotionally and spiritually and in their relationships, but when they check in, it's often something different. But that's not how I roll, and that's not how my clients roll. And that's not what I recommend in any of my books or programs. You knowing exactly where you are with razor clarity. Because without clarity, nothing can be created or built. And so out of direction, we have what we call living in reality. And we also have a radical focus on clarity. That's the first thing we must have in our lives to feel like a man. If we move without this, all we're doing is distracting, overwhelming ourselves more than it's necessary. Second thing, call it activate masculinity. And what I mean by that is this. Everything you've experienced, the shame, the regret, the disappointment, the hurt. I've been extremely hurt multiple times in my life. I barely even scratched the surface of it with you. But that is stored in our body. And every time you try to push harder and force success to happen and make the deal happen or get the girl, you're carrying all that baggage with you and it's just going to bleed out. There are very simple ways to unblock that, because when you free and clear it from your body, you just become an extraordinarily sexy, powerful man. Now it's self-evident when you walk in a room, you've got nothing to hide. Like, this guy's got no shit. Imagine how rare you'll be when you clear stuff out of your nervous system. So it's about getting unstuck. We have to clear it. Part of you being free and alive again is we have to free the stuff. That's my job. That's my role with you. Okay? Here's the third piece. Purpose. And it's not some 3-step YouTube video that you can watch in 30 minutes and you've got your purpose. You can't manufacture and make this stuff up. There's actually 6 questions I've devised over 17 years that will actually reveal your purpose, and it deactivates your mind from getting in the way of actually seeing what it really is. And some of you probably already know, you just don't want to admit it. And some of you may feel like you're on purpose, but it's not happening. And so there's something stuck inside. When you know your purpose, you'll have total control. You will have balance. You will reclaim masculinity at a whole new level. The feminine will start to surrender and be drawn to you. And money's going to start to flow effortlessly because everything is just in alignment. Now here's the last piece. I call it a productivity plan, because productivity is important. We want to be experiencing results. And I spend about 90 minutes a day in radical productive action. I spend most of my time there generating wealth, leading my family, my body, being with my wife, and setting myself up and my team up in other areas to win. And that's it. I walk away. I start my day around 6 with the kids. I'm done around 1 or 2, and I have the rest of the day to live my life with my family, my wife, my kids. That's what the productivity plan will do for you. You'll have absolutely serene, clear direction. You'll be free and clear of that stuckness, that hurt. Whatever robbed you can diminish. Your purpose is what will reignite and set your masculinity on fire at a whole different level. You will have switched from the old masculine to the new masculine. And a productivity plan, that's every day. What am I creating? Every day, because you already know why you're creating it right now. Those are the 4 steps. Right now on your screen, there's an opportunity to click the link below. Fill out this application, schedule a 30-minute time with me. It's a strategy session. We're going to cover the 4 things. What really got you stuck? How do we unblock that? What do you think your purpose or your vision is? Let's clarify that. And then let's put together a mini productivity plan. And maybe we'll work together, maybe we won't. It doesn't matter. But I'm on a mission to activate masculinity and take a huge stand for men everywhere in the world. And this is what I do. It is who I am. I'm giving you this opportunity. It's not going to be up here forever, the next few days, if at all. Take advantage of this because you owe it to yourself. All you need to be right now, and the only thing you need to think about is, can you have an open conversation with me? Do you have enough courage to look at something you may have never seen before? And at least a little willingness to do something better than you've ever done. And if you can honestly answer yes to those, let's talk. On this page right here is a link to schedule 30 minutes with me. Usually I charge up to $500 for this. I'm covering it. Go ahead and click that link, and I'll see you soon.